Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Range is hot. Lock and load. It's time for the Gun Rack with your hosts, Joey and Drew.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gun Rack's Sonoran Desert Institute School of Firearms Technology's official podcast. I'm Josiah, our folks call me Joey, and with me we have one
Drew Poplin.
as always, and we have kind of a fun episode for you guys today. As I think we have mentioned ChatGPT in passing, and we are going to make that an integral part of today. Today is the top 10 handguns according to ChatGPT. And then as a fun bonus, I had them do the top 10 handguns according to my pseudonym on concealednation.org as to see if it would be any different. I have not seen the original ChatGPT list, so it may be that they just pulled the same thing twice, or it may be that it actually has some hot takes on the stuff I wrote. Yeah, we're going to see.
Yeah, it should be exciting. Yeah. Hey, speaking of hot takes, me and Joey are going to try something a little different today. We're going to try a news segment. We need to think of a good name for it. But basically, we're each going to share a hot take we have kind of at the beginning of the show real quick. Yeah, so if you guys have any good names for it, let us know. Joey, do you want to share yours first?
Yeah, I will give you one. It's not even a hot take because I'm objectively right. It all freaking sucks. We are a day away from the second worst season of the year. Tomorrow's the first day of fall. We're recording on a Friday. I suspect most of you guys will hear it today. Is the single furthest day we will be from summer all year long. And that sucks. The days get shorter. We get daylight savings time for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And no, all of you people are like, he just doesn't know that we're not moving time around. No, we are. And we were last time, and you guys don't know better. And it's never happening. We're going to get bait and switched with daylight savings time every year until we're dead. And it's going to be like were cheaper back in the day. It's like, yeah, that's always true, but it's never going to work out for you. Fall sucks, man. Getting colder sucks. Flannel is stupid. Bonfires remain pretty dope. That's probably the one thing in fall I'm here for. But Thanksgiving is a solid holiday. Veterans Day is, of course, a solid holiday. But outside of that, forget about it.
I feel like you attacked my entire being with that.
I did attack your...
This was supposed to be a fun segment.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously disagree with that. I hate summer. It's my least favorite season. So I guess the result of that is that fall is my favorite.
Yeah.
Plus, you're not much of a Halloween guy, so...
Yeah, I was going to say another hot week for another time is that Halloween is my least favorite holiday of the year. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah, definitely disagree with that. Okay, so funny enough, somewhat adjacent to, fall and Halloween stuff is... One thing about me is one of the film genres that I enjoy the most is horror films, probably ever since I was about 13, 14. And so this is where my hot take is going today. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the film The Exorcist. Even if you haven't watched it, you probably know of it. My hot take is that Exorcist 3 is a superior film in virtually all aspects and is severely underrated. It's got a wonderful cast. Patrick Ewing is in a scene for some reason with Fabio and Samuel L. Jackson. It's bizarre, but it's a wild film. There's some good comedy writing. It was directed and written by William Peter Blatty, who was the guy that wrote the original Exorcist novel. And so he kind of brings that, I guess, literary skill to a lot of the dialogue, but the scary parts in it, I feel like, are more terrifying than the ones in the first one. And furthermore, Brad Dourif, who has a role in this film, probably should have won an Oscar for his portrayal. I guess, wait, no. Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter was Best Supporting Actor, right?
The same year as I have no idea.
Well, I think Brad Dourif's portrayal as the Gemini Killer is more terrifying than Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. And yeah. Have you seen Exorcist 3 or any of those films?
I'm gonna shoot straight with you. The having a take about The Exorcist 3 being better than the original Exorcist is one for idiots and babies, and I know you to be both, so I understand where you're coming from. The first Exorcist is the first time I had seen a horror movie that I couldn't be scared of because I was too busy taking in what was happening in front of me. Like I was watching the film from which all other horror movies are derived, and the one that started the satanic panic whoops that completely changed our culture here in the United States. You can try to counter that with Samuel L. Jackson, but it's the madness, absolute madness.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing that Exorcist, like the first one, had a greater cultural significance, but
I heard you explicitly say The Exorcist 3 had a more profound impact on this country than the first Exorcist. I heard that happen.
Things might be getting lost in translation over Zoom.
Yeah,
but,
sorry, I only speak Dutch.
All right, so yeah, guys, in the comments, let us know. Do you agree with any of the hot takes? Were we off base? Maybe drop some of your hot takes in the comments as well. Before we get into our main topic, let's talk about SDI real quick. Sonoran Desert Institute, aka SDI, is an online school that helps students learn the skills and techniques they'll need to be successful in the firearms and unmanned technology industries. SDI is accredited by the Distance Education Accrediting Commission, otherwise known as the DEAC. So currently, we offer 2 programs in firearms technology. We have the Associates of Science in Firearms Technology and the Certificate in Firearms Technology Gunsmithing. If you want to find out more info about both of those programs, head over to our website. It's www.sdi.edu for some more information. Yeah, just a bevy of information there. Some great resources on that website if you want to find out more. Now, next week, I'm actually going to be in Vegas, so it'll be interesting to see how we do an episode, if we're able to do an episode next week.
What are you doing in Vegas?
Summit.
They're doing the summit in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm glad everything, I don't know if you had heard about the MGM hotels in Vegas getting hacked. It seems like that's over. It's kind of been dealt with. So I'm glad that got sorted out.
Well, put a weird bet on football that you otherwise would not be able to out there for me. Their laws are a lot more chill than ours. I've always you don't have to wonder for long. North Carolina's gambling laws are progressing to something that's a little less draconian not too long from now. But I've always wondered what it was like to sit at one of those casinos with a wall and all these people trying to put in their prop bets. It's like the stock market, but for people who aren't going anywhere in life. And I think you would fit in. I do.
That sounds like my lane.
It does. It does. I gotta agree. Okay. Shall we get into it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, again, we're doing the top 10 handguns for beginners according to ChatGPT. And I'll share exactly what I wrote into ChatGPT to get these results. So I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, hope you're well today." Because, I really don't think AI is going to take over the world. Actually, it's not going to be like a Skynet thing.
But you got to set the tone.
In case it does, I want them to know that I'm a nice guy. Maybe I shouldn't be a robot slave. Anyway,
yeah.
Hope you're well today. In your opinion, what are the top 10 handguns for beginners? To which ChatGPT said, "Hello, I don't have feelings or emotions, but I'm here and ready to assist you. Selecting a handgun, especially for beginners, should be based on comfort, ease of use, reliability, and the intended purpose. Examples given self-defense, sports shooting, or general target practice. It's also vital that any new shooter receive proper training and practice safe gun handling at all times. Here are 10 handguns that are often recommended for beginners based on their user-friendly features and reputation. So they listed them, I think, from first, or from 1 to 10. So I'm going to go from 10 to 1 to create an air of tension, I suppose. So number 10 is the Taurus G2C. It's a semi-automatic pistol. Has a caliber of 9mm, although it's also available in .40 Smith & Wesson. Has a capacity of 12+1 rounds, and its features are that it is compact and budget-friendly. It offers features like a manual safety and adjustable rear sights, and all that was according to ChatGPT. Joey, thoughts on the Taurus G2C?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that on my list where I asked them to write one as my writing style from 2021, that Taurus G.
Hello, dear viewers. You may be wondering, hey, what the heck just happened? Well, we were recording the podcast, and unbeknownst to us, there was an error. So we recorded for about another 30 minutes, and then we signed off. Joey went back to his job and pulled up the converted audio file, and it only had about those 13 minutes. So real quick, I'm just going to go over the list with you. I don't want to, Joey's a busy man, so not going to drag him back and take up even more of his time. So yeah, we'll just go through this really quickly, bang, bang. So definitely apologize because this was originally a lot better. Had Joey giving a lot of commentary on each of ChatGPT's selections, and then, he had his own list. So I definitely apologize about that, but, things happen, and the show must go on. So number 10 was, according to ChatGPT, was the Taurus G2C. And for each of these, they listed, what type of handgun it was, what its caliber, its capacity, and in their mind, what its features are. So I'll read those. Just know some of these are not accurate. So, don't take this as gospel. But number 10, they had the Taurus G2C. It's a semi-automatic pistol. They say the caliber is 9mm, also available in .40 Smith & Wesson. Has a capacity of 12+1 rounds. And they say its features are it's compact and budget-friendly. It offers features like a manual safety and adjustable rear sights. And I also try to remember sort of what Joey's general vibe or what his general response was. So for this one, he basically wasn't a fan, especially of the Taurus G2C's trigger brake. He recalls just, the feeling like he had to. I think he said he's pretty sure it would misfire, then fire. That's how it worked. So not a fan of number 10. Number 9 was the Walther PPQ, semi-automatic pistol, primarily 9mm, but other versions are available. Capacity, they have typically 15+1 or 17+1. They say features, it's recognized for its outstanding trigger and ergonomic grip design, striker fired with a quick reset. Walther, high, pretty good quality pistols, reputable brand. I think there was the Walther PPS maybe that Joey recommended, perhaps over the PPQ. So yeah, number 9 was the Walther PPQ. Number 8 was the CZ75. Number 7 was the Ruger LCR. Which is the first revolver we have on the list. Joey, not a huge fan of this. It does come in multiple calibers, but for a beginner, yeah, I don't think it's the best choice. It was about here that we realized that should have been a bit more specific with ChatGPT about what this theoretical beginner was using this firearm for. I think oftentimes on the podcast we approach things from the perspective of concealed carry. That's a pretty important criteria for us a lot of the time. And so a lot of these maybe are I'd say a decent amount of these maybe are not an ideal size for concealed carry. Maybe they're a little long or maybe a little thick. But the Ruger LCR, I don't think, that's just not it. Anyway, moving on. The Springfield Armory XDS Mod 2, if I recall, I think probably would prefer going with the Hellcat. We had the Beretta 92FS. The Beretta 92FS, we didn't spend a lot of time on this one. We also didn't spend a lot of time on the next one, which was the 6-hour P320. And, that's number 4. We're in the top 5 now. So number 5 was the Beretta 92FS. Number 4 was the 6-hour P320. They say, modular design allowing users to switch between different frame sizes, slide lengths, and calibers, striker fired with crisp trigger. And then we had a really interesting one for number 3. Again, you have to account that they weren't saying this necessarily as your self-defense firearm or your go-to concealed carry option, because number 3, they had the Ruger SR22, semi-automatic pistol. Obviously, it's a 22 caliber long rifle handgun. It's capacity of 10+1. And they say its features are it's lightweight, easy to handle, and it has an ambidextrous safety. Its low recoil makes it great for beginners to learn shooting fundamentals, which both kind of agreed that the idea of if you're just starting out, like if you're very, very, very new, 22 is probably a good way to go. I think for a lot of us, the first firearm we fired was a 22. Granted, it was more I think for a lot of us, we got started on those Marlins or whatever. But I like the idea in theory. If I recall, the MSRP on this one was kind of high for a 22. So I don't know if that's necessarily I don't think that's the 22 semi-automatic pistol that I would go for. Honestly, I'd probably even suggest doing one of those Heritage Rough Riders, because those are just fun. I think that'd be a great way, if you're trying to get someone into shooting firearms at all, those 22 Rough Riders, those are just such a joy to shoot and blink. Anyway, we're at the top 2, and these are this is pretty reasonable. Number 2 is the Glock 19, and number 1 is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9mm. So and just to close out, they say each of these firearms has, I should read it in the robot voice. Each of these firearms has a unique set of features, and the best way to understand which is suitable for you is to handle them, receive training, and practice regularly. Always prioritize safety and legal considerations when purchasing and using firearms. When considering a handgun, it's crucial to handle several models to find one that feels comfortable in your hand. Everyone's hand shape and size are different, so what feels good to one person might not for another. It's also a good idea to test fire the handgun if possible before making a purchase. Which, all good sentiments. Overall, ChatGPT, not the worst job in the world. I think a lot of these firearms were kind of expensive for a beginner. Like, you're asking a beginner to drop a lot of cash, up front, when I think some of that money could be better spent on, maybe getting a less expensive firearm and more time at the range, or more time training. Because, again, owning a firearm, it's an investment, and there's a decent amount of money that goes into it up front. So maybe let's not have people start off on $600, $700 handguns. That's just me. Overall, it's a fun little experiment. Again, sorry that it kind of went wacky and sideways, especially as we're getting into the good stuff. I appreciate your understanding, and I'm sure I send love from Joey as well. Anyway, that has, believe it or not, been the Gun Rack. Folks, you have fun, stay safe, and we will see you at the range.
Sonoran Desert Institute is an online school accredited by the DEAC. It is headquartered at 1555 West University Drive in Tempe, Arizona. For more information about how you can craft your firearms future, visit sdi.edu.